Hello all, welcome to oracleteams.com. In this session, we'll discuss about invoking a PL/SQL procedure from Oracle Integration Cloud. Let's see the content. The prerequisite for this one is we'll be using a table called EMP table, and also we require a procedure, and you can observe the procedure. There are 3 input parameters and 1 output parameter. The procedure name is XXORA create EMP procedure. And from the integration point of view, we require 2 connections. One is REST connection, and other one is ATP connection. And the integration type we are using as application. And for the integration, we are assuming 3 input parameters and 1 output parameter. So this is a high-level overview of the components. Now, the REST trigger connection which you have designed does not require any password. So just a simple authentication and of role trigger. The ATP connection, observe carefully. So you can observe here, the service name is required, security, the wallet, zip file, wallet password, and the schema username and schema password. Right? So these are the prerequisite connections. Now, this is a final integration we are expecting to design in our session today. You can observe here, I'll just go through the activities one by one here. The first one is the trigger activity, wherein user receives 3 input parameters and also 1 output parameter is set at this level, right? While creating this particular activity, we are using the REST connection, and based on that, we are configuring 3 input parameters and 1 output parameter. And now, leave aside these 2 mappings. And once you design the invocation for the ATP for the PL/SQL procedure, it requires 3 input parameters, and of course, it has 1 output parameter. So these 3 input parameters, for the configuring 3 input parameters for the procedure, it will generate this mapping. In this mapping, we have to map the input parameters which we receive from the user to this particular PL/SQL procedure. And finally, the final mapping is for the purpose of sending the response, or nothing but the response what we receive from the procedure to the REST trigger output. Okay, that is what we want to achieve. And let us see the scenarios also. We'll be performing the same real-time scenarios now. So the first example is a positive example wherein the data you provided perfectly and it is inserted perfectly. And you should be able to see the response like insert the employee with the employee number successfully. Nothing but the employee with the employee number 9103 got inserted successfully. And let us see the other scenario wherein you are providing an employee number which is already available. So as per the logic, what we have done in the PL/SQL is if you are providing an employee number which is already available, I will not allow you to insert. Simply stop the program, send the response like this. Okay, so this is what we want to achieve. So let us go to the integration. So this is a PL/SQL procedure which we are using in our ATP, which will be invoked via ATP. I mean, a very simple one. Just check the count. First one is in the declare section. You can see the employee number, employee count. And line number 10, what we are doing is we just based on the employee number, what we are passing, is it available or not? If the employee number is available, definitely we want to set the status as error while insertion. And if the employee number is not available, the count is 0. And then you perform the insertion, you perform the commit, and then send the response like this. You can just mention inserted the employee like this rather than insert the employee. Okay. And now then what we can do is we'll just design our integration. So I'll just go back to the click on create. So assuming we have the connections which are already available. So I'll not explain that again. So now I'll just mention the integration name with underscore test. We require 3 input parameters and 1 output parameter. REST connection. REST connection OT. Aurora. I think OIC. Yeah, REST connection OIC is our trigger connection. And here it'll say invoke EMP procedure. Create employees using PL/SQL procedures. This is logic it will perform internally. So as I said it requires 3 input parameters and 1 output parameter. So the first checkbox and the last one you have to configure. I'll just go with a slash, nothing to add there. Add the parameters, 3 parameters. And the first one, I'll go with EMP number. Next one, e-name. Third one is salary. EMP number is integer, so better you change it. And the last one is also integer, change it. Next one is status, the output variable. So we have to enter it via JSON format. As it is an individual variable or a single variable, I mean to say, you can just type it. Type the output variable in a JSON format. Yeah, SQL procedure status. Okay, this is just a static one, right? It will get updated later. This is just temporary declaration. Now, the configuration for our trigger invoke activity is almost done. Let us see. Yeah, so it is done. Next thing is we'll invoke our PL/SQL procedure. So it has ATP connection. Yeah, ATP connection OT. Now I'll simply say invoke PL/SQL procedure. Invoke EMP PL/SQL procedure. And the operation what we want to perform, yes, it's we just want to invoke a stored procedure. So we'll just go with that. And now we have to search what is a procedure name, right? Let's see what is a question it will ask. Yes, schema. The schema name is the schema name as we configured in our ATP connection as Sriram. So I'll just go with that name. So once you select the schema, it will expect a list of packages which are or packages or procedures which are available. So there's no package, and we have created the individual procedure. I'll select that individual procedure which I've created. Yeah, you can observe here. It has 3 input parameters and 1 output parameter. Continue. Yes, once you click on finish, as you know that it will generate a mapping, right? And yeah, let it generate. So you will see a mapping generated for this trigger connection. As of now, I'll just save temporary purpose. And now the mapping for the invoke PL/SQL procedure, just click on this edit icon here. We have to map the input what we receive from the user to this particular PL/SQL procedure mapping. The query parameters should be able to see 3 parameters: EMP number and e-name, yeah, salary. Validate. So these 3 input parameters are mapped, and you don't see the output parameter here, right? So it is a clear picture, right? So input, yes, you have to map it, and output, but the output that will be available after invocation, right? Not before the creation, not before invocation. That is the reason in this map, you are able to see only 3 input parameters, but where is the other output? Yes, you'll find that. Let's wait for some time. Now here, what I'll do is assume that your PL/SQL procedure got invoked successfully. And then what is the next expectation? How do we set the status response, right? Yes, that is where the logic comes into picture. Now click on this plus symbol. Now click on action, and you can just click on mapping or map. Now here, we don't have any other trigger or invoke activity where you have a mapping available, right? And here it shows that the mapping is available for the input trigger activity. Using this one, we have to set the response of the trigger. I mean the invoke EMP procedure trigger. Okay, let's see that. I mean the rest one. Click on create. Let us see that. Easily understand that. Now, from where are we getting the response? We are getting the response from the EMP PL/SQL response. Let us see the output parameters. Yes, this is the O status which we are receiving from the PL/SQL. So now here right side, and what are we to which particular what you call the PL/SQL response should be set to the status message of this particular trigger response, REST trigger, right? So I'll just click on validate. Okay. And the final pending one is mapping the business identifier. Click on this particular icon, set the business identifier. Query parameter, drag and drop whichever element you feel it is fine for the validation. Go with that. go back, and I hope it is ready for configuration. Yeah, activation. Let's let it activate. So by being, I'll just open one more worksheet. I'll say select star from EMP order by 1, descending. Yeah, it shows 17 rows. Yeah, this is here. Script output. That's query result, right? Yeah. Yeah, we could see there are 3 records which were entered like with this employee number. I'll try to enter with the 8000 series. And yeah, 8000 series, I don't see any employee available. So I'll just click on this icon, run. No, ename, right? Ename is, I'll just say go with Shruti. And employee number 8000, salary is 1500. Okay, let's try. Yeah, insert the employee successfully. It got inserted. I have not compiled the PLC. That's the reason you're still seeing the old message. Yes, it got inserted successfully. Let's say that I would like to try to insert the existing employee, like maybe 7788 Scott. What I'll do is I'll just simply, it doesn't matter whether the employee name is same or not. We are validating only the employee number, right? So I'll just go with 7788 here. Remaining things, I'll just keep it as it is, or maybe even if I remove it also doesn't matter, as we don't have any validation on the other variables as of now, parameters, I mean. Just click on run and you should see a different message now. It says that error while insertion, please provide the unique employee number, right? And we can do validations, or you can add up validations at the PLC level or at the integration level based on the requirement. So in this sample, we have just seen a very simple way of, a simple procedure with 3 input parameters and 1 output parameter, how we can pass the parameter from the integration, and also how we can receive the response from the PL SQL and display that in the integration. That is the logic we have achieved in our sample today. Thank you.